Hello, Alan. Ah, hello.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey
Hi,
Harold.
Harold.
We're on Yud Bey, 12. The Basar de Nafak, Amr Lula Ula. After Rav Nachman left the yeshiva, Ula said to the Chachamim, Hachi Amr Rabbi Elazar, Afilu miyasmi, we were discussing whether you can collect on a debt from Avodim. And Rav Ula said you can collect even from your son. Amr Rav Nachman, no, Ishtamitzin Ula. If Ula had said this in front of me, I was proved to him that he was not correct. And he must have escaped from me because he knew I would have challenged him. Even so, Havu'uvda ben Arda, a case in Arda came, V'agu Dayona dar Arda, and the judges in Arda followed Ula and collected avodim in payment of a debt, even from Yisom. Havu'uvda b'Mubadisa, V'agvi Rav Chana bar Bizna, and Rav Chana collected as well. Amalu Rav Nachman, Zilu Ahadu, you got to give the avodim back. I'm going to collect personally from your houses as a fine. How could you go against all of these people who are poskening that you can collect from avodim? Mark Kaman Spherle, who are you poskening like Rav Nachman? I know a Bryce. The Tani Avimi. Pruzbul Chal al Hakarka. You have a star that is meant to protect loans from being wiped away because of Shemitah. So if the borrower has land, so you can write a pruzbul based on that. However, you cannot write it Eino Chal al Avodim, because Avodim are not like Karka. So this is where Ula is getting this concept that Avodim are not treated like Karka. Now, Other dinim. Metatlin niknim imakarka. That's with an agav kinyan. For example, you have tractors and hoes and rakes and shovels on a field, and you acquire the field, you can acquire the metatlin along with the field. But eino niknim im avodim. If you want to buy avodim and metatlin, there's no agav kinyan with avodim because it's not like karka. So lema kitanoi. So is this a machlokes tananim? That is machar lo avodim v'karkos. If you bought avodim in land, hegzik b'avodim loikon karkos. If you were machzik the avodim, it doesn't acquire you the karka. Each one needs its own kinyan. Similarly, if you did a ma'isa chazaka bekarkos loikon avodim. If you were kana the karkos metatlin, once kishihirzi bekarka kana metatlin. If you did an act of chazak on the karka, you acquired the metatlin as well. If you did chazak on the metatlin, loy kana karka. It doesn't work the other way. If you bought avodim umetatlin, hichzik ba'avodim loy kana metatlin, hichzik b'metatlin loy kana avodim. So you see clearly that this Tana holds that avodim are not like karka. But v'hatanya, we have another brisa, hichzik b'avodim kana metatlin. So this Tana holds that avodim are like karka. My lav v'hakamiflagi. It seems clear that that's what's the point of argument between these two Tanaitic pieces of literature. Demar savar avodim kimakarka dami, mar savar avodim kimatatlin dami. Amravika Bray Ravimi, no. Kula alma avodim kimakarka dami. Everybody holds avodim is like karka. V'haditanya, the Baraisa that said kana, that you could acquire metatlin as an agav with the avodim shapir. That's good. V'haditanya. And the Baraisa that said lo kana also good. The Tana that holds that for an agav kinyan being in karka is learned out from a pasuk. Dumilo arimitzudos biyehuda. The din that you can acquire metatlin agav karka is learned from that pasuk. Because cities lo naidi don't move. So, and even though we would treat an eved like karka in most cases, since avodim are mobile, it's not completely like karka. So, for example, in this inyan, by metatlin, by an agav kinyan with metatlin, it doesn't fit this pasuk. So the avodim are not like karka regarding that specific din. Where do we see this? This not. Nechasim she'en la nachrayis. Nechasim that don't acquire a lien, like metatlin. Niknin im nechasim she'esh nachrayis. You can acquire them as an agav kinyan when you acquire land. And how? B'kesef b'shtar chazak. Minoanimili. Where do you see that metatlin can be acquired as an agav kinyan along with karka? Amar Chizkiah, she'amar kra vayiten lehem avihem matanos rabos lekesef lezav lemigdanos im arei mitzuros b'Yehuda, that he gave as a gift kesef zav migdanos. These are all divrei metatlin along with cities in Yehuda. And you notice it's the agav kinyan for metatlin is only by karka that are not mobile, which don't fit avodim. So that's one way that the Gemara learns that there's a distinction between the brises. Ikediami, there's another way. Aravika B'rei Ravidi. Kula ama avdik metatlin dam. Not like we said before that kula alma abdika karka, Rather, everybody holds avodim are metatel. V'hadetanya loy kana shapir, and hadetanya kana shapir. When it's said that it's kana, when you acquire an eved, you acquire metaltalin b'oid Allah. That's referring when an eved is wearing these metaltalin. So when you acquire the eved, you acquire the things that he's wearing. So the Gemara doesn't accept that. Oid love my avi. That's no big chiddush. Something that falls into a person's karka, into a person's chotzer, you also acquire. So it's no different than that. Chotzer malechasi, he's considered like a moving chotzer. But chotzer malechas like kana. But a moving chotzer is not kind for the person. The chitema, the eved is oimed, is standing. So what does this specific case talk about? Hilchasa be'eved kafus. They tied him up. So then he has a din chotzer. Ivatanya, another brayso, it says hechzik bekarka kanu avodi. If you did an act of chazak on the karka, you are kind of the avodi. Hasam be'oimdim b'soicha. These are avodim that happen to be in the field that you just bought. That's why you acquired them. But if they were somewhere else, you would not acquire them. Michlal, the Hailoi Kana, when the Brisa said that you don't acquire avodim when you acquire karka, it's kishein ondim b'soicha hani chalach lishna. That's good according to the version. To Amrav Ikabed Ravami, Abdi Kimetatli done. That avodim like metatl. And Hainu, that's why the ondim b'soicha in. Ilolo. That's why those items that are in the karka when you acquire it, you acquire. And those that are not there, you don't. But according to the version where avodim are compared to karka, and everybody holds like that, lamali oindim b'soicha. You can acquire multiple pieces of land even though they're completely not contiguous and they're not connected to each other. Amr Shmuel, Macharlo Esther Sadois, Shebe Esther Medinos, you buy 10 fields in 10 states, the United States. Kivin Sheichzik Bachas Ben Kanakula. You don't have to do chazak on all of them. If avodim are like karka, you should be able to acquire the eved when you do a ma'isa chazak on this field, even though the eved's not there. So the Gemara says, Ulatamech, based on your reasoning, even lahach lishna, sha'avdi kimetatlin dami, who held that avodim are lamektatlin, lamali oimed v'soicha. Why dafka do you need the eved to be within the land when you acquire it? Hakamilan shlo be'inan ametatlin siburin. For example, you don't need, if I'm going to acquire metatlin with a piece of land, I don't need the metatlin to be on that land. There, you can acquire them no matter where they are. Inanimate metaltalin are different than avodim that are animate. Is that what you're going to say? Achanami shiny makarka denaidi makarka lo naidi. Maybe movable land like avodim, abda makarka denaidi, and maybe that's why they're not acquired with karka, unless it's oime b'soicha. But the case of acquiring 10 pieces of land is sadna da'arachai. They're all connected to the earth. And therefore they're all considered mechubaros. So that might be a distinction. Okay, so the Mishnah said that if someone does damage, you only required to pay for nechasim she'ein ben me'ila, that don't belong to Hegdish. So me'ila de lesbuhu am mekadesh kachi. It means it's got to be something where there's no din me'ila, but they could be kodshim. There's a certain type of kodshim where there's no chiv me'ila. Mantan. And therefore, who is the ton of our Mishnah? Rav Yechon bekodshim kalim alibid Rabbi Yosef Glili. Like a shlomim, according to Rabbi Yosef Glili, who holds mom and bailim. When you are makriv them, when you do zrika sadam, then there's a chalois of a kedusha chamura. Where then, if you benefit from the chaylev or the other things that you put on the mizbech, you're oiver me'il. The Tanya. Person claims that I left an object with Chaim Yankel. Chaim Yankel denies it. He denies having a pikadon deposited with him. This comes to include even a korban of kotshim kalim, which is considered personal asset of the makriv, the Rabbi Yosef Glili. You would also be violent in kichish b'mita. Vatnan, hamekadish bechelko, a Kohen tries to mekadish a woman with the chelek that belongs to him of a korban. Ben bekotshim, for example, a chatas and an osha. The Kohen gets the meat. So I might think that if a Kohen uses that to be Makadish a woman, or Kotshim Kalim, or his share of the meat of Kotshim Kalim, Eina Mekudeshes, it's not considered his personal assets. Consider that he's eating from Shulchan Gavoa. So, Lema Rabbi Yosef Glili, is this going only to Rabbi Yosef Glili regarding Kotshim Kalim? What's the Filu Tem Rabbi Yosef Glili? Kim Rabbi Yosef Glili, who holds that Kotshim Kalim are personal money, that's Mechayim when they're alive. Aval Achar Shchita, after you shech them, when you have to put the blood and the fats on the Mizbech, Afil Rabbi Yosef Glili, Moedek Tekik. Kazachu, when a Kohen are given these things, Meshulchan Gavoa Kazachu, they're not, he's basically eating shrayim from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's table. The whole court becomes Kodesh Lashem. When the Kohanim get their chelik and the Balim get their chelik, there's zoicha from Shulchan Gavoa, and it's not considered mom and bail. But when the animal is alive, it's considered personal money. Freit the Gemara mechayim mi omar. When the shlamim is alive, do we say that it's personal asset of the bailim? Vatnan. Bechor moichrin oisoi tam chai. Person has a animal that's a bechor. As long as it's tamim, without a mum, and it's alive, v'loi shachut, you can sell them. V'ba mum chai, and a bechor that has a mum, whether it's chai or shachut, mekachim bo es aisha. If you gave it to a Kohen, and the Kohen tried to be makadesh with these items, the kiddushin would be good. We're talking about a bechor after the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed. There's no Beis Hamikdash. So the bechor, the Kohanim get that. The moment an animal like that gets a mum, it's mutter for the Kohen to eat it. And therefore, even when it's unblemished, the Kohen has a certain ownership in it. The when an animal was tam, unblemished, it could have been roy to be a korban shlomi, a korban bechor. So then it would not be considered personal asset. The Tamer Rav Nachman. Umoal amoal b'Hashem. L'Rabbis kochim kalim shein mamoinu di Rabbi Yosef. That minor kochim like a shlomim are considered personal moment. Now, obviously, he's talking about when the base of Midrash is kayim, and a bechor is a type of kochim kalim. So you see, it is mom and kayim. However, Mishani Ravina deflected this kasha by saying it's bechor shebechutz la'aretz. I'll leave it Rab Shimon. This is a bechor born in chutz la'aretz, called Rab Shimon. She'omar, in both tmimim, if unblemished bechoros came from chutz la'aretz, yikruvu, you could be makriv them. What does it mean in both? You could be medaik from that. That only if someone was makriv them in, we accept it. But lachatchila lo. So they're not shaykh la'krova. So they would be b'shus koyin. The Misa, the Chiyam Rav Yosef Lili Mamoinu, Mechayim, yet if Ula only wanted to say that it belonged to the Kohanim as their personal moment while it was alive, Lishni Ha Rav Yosef Lili Ha Rabbana. Then we should have said Ravina's teretz was, this is Rav Yosef Lili by Kochim Kolin, including a Bechor, which is his personal moment. And the case of Rav Nachman, who said it's B'zman Hazeh, is only Keshidas Rabbana. So the Gemara will have to give an answer to that. We'll learn tomorrow. We'll learn tomorrow at 7:30. Sorba will